And you heard it there from the announcers. Just a couple more seconds before the drivers get underway, and away we go. The start of the formation lap, and the drivers already beginning to weave and dodge their way through and warm up their tires to the best possible opportunity that they can. It appears we will have live stewarding tonight. That will be done by Daniel Tran. So give a shout out to Daniel Tran for his sacrifice of not racing in this championship this week, but just sacrificing his time to make sure a good time can be had by all the drivers on circuit. Kevin Lee leads us over Nate Roberts, Justin Cutler, Ryan Nash. There's your first two rows of the grid. Switching over to the leaders right now.
Green light.
Green, green, green. Away we go, and it looks like Kevin Lee has a dominant start over Nate Roberts, but under threat from the car behind. That'll be Nate Roberts under threat from Justin Cutler. Cutler to the outside line going in towards turn one, and we got three wide in the background, folks. Wilson Ho getting involved, and there's a Porsche. That'll be BK going three wide through turn two as well. BK gets bumped off a little saucy there next to the number 5 and the 188. And that'll be Laszlo Toth to that inside line, losing out a position to, looks like that number 5 or number 9 car bumping and banging his way through on that 188. BK and Laszlo Toth getting elbows out here already as we head down in towards turn 4. It's mostly neat and tidy, but still elbows are out between these drivers. Wanting to close down the gap. Balwea Isho having a bit of a dive towards the number 220. That is the 220, excuse me, with a bit of a dive from Alan Pena in 14th place, making his way up the grid very steadily. Holy smokes, those are some shaking and baking, and there goes Pena off in the background, and he is off through the Schumacher S's, loses out a handful of positions. All that work becomes undone very quickly. Oh, and it looks like the Bald Eagle Motorsports number 74, Corey McNulty, gets involved in an incident with David Johnson. Let's see if we can get a recap of what happened to the 221 and the 74. Coming through the Schumacher S's, the 74 is side by side with the AMG in front. And now David Johnson going to that inside line, just taps the rear end of the 74, but spins him back around. Number 74, no worse for wear. And there goes Pena again at the entrance to the green hell section. A little bit worse for wear right now. He's pointed a little bit sideways. David Johnson chasing down Johnny Nickelfor, the number 99, and the 221 going after. What about Rory Buchanan? He is a newcomer to this championship. The number 5 Top Gear racing car seems to be doing a good job through Hotzenbach. And now closing down the gap between Wilson Ho, and I've commentary cursed. Oh no, that'll be the car of Wilson Ho, who goes out and around through turn 16. And now it'll be nose to tail between these drivers. That's Laszlo Toth chasing down BK, as BK was battling with 1 Sigma car, and now he's inversed those positions one way or the other. Balwea Isho now chasing down Wilson Ho. The number 220 also all over the number 888 out in front. Wilson Ho is not getting the best start here to this evening, but he is trying his darndest to make it a positive one, that's for sure. And we've got a train of cars headed down into Arnberg. The leader has escaped with his life. 1 second is the gap in front of him, and that'll be Nate Roberts chasing down the first place spot right now. Entering Foxhole now. Oh, and who is that off? That will be BK, who's off at Ardner Forest. FAF GTD Pro seems okay as far as damage is concerned. Not doing too bad, but a couple of mishaps on this opening lap for a lot of the drivers who've just got to settle in and find their groove and momentum for this long 41-minute race that's remaining. Positions gained right now. Dominic Schuman's made up 7 positions starting in P16. Worked his way all the way up into 9th place right now, and he is shaking and baking in the pro category already. He's got Isho in front, but no longer as Isho goes off. And now Dominic Schumann has clean air in front of him, can chase down the wounded Wilson Ho in that 888 Ferrari out in front of him. It's all about survival here through the mountain section, folks. Just making sure that you can make it to the green checkered flag, excuse me. And you can see how much damage Wilson Ho has on the front of that Ferrari as he chases down his teammate Laszlo Tots driving the McLaren. Quite different equipment machinery here. The Ferrari 296, of course, is a 2.9 liter V6 twin turbo, while the McLaren 720S is a 4 liter V8 twin turbo pushing 720 horses. The cars pretty jumbled up next to each other on the racetrack right now. This is the closest battle that we have, although Leomora has caught up to the back of BK. Buchanan, the number 5, and Laszlo Toth showing their performance very well, competing outside of their class. It looks like Leomora gets past BK. Roy McNulty and David Johnson invert positions there. Let's take a look at Philippe Cossette as he's battling out with Balwea Isho now. Philippe Cossette's been a little bit more cautious than not this opening lap. He started off in 12th, has gained 2 positions off the good already. He's settling into 10th place right now. Nate Roberts started this race in 2nd place, and he's down 2 positions right now, settling in for 4th. Laszlo Toth, though, up 1, past his teammate Wilson Ho, who's down 2 off the good. Off there from the driver leading. That'll be Laszlo Toth impeding his teammate just a little bit, and that might force him to come under threat from the car behind. That'll be Dominic Schumann tracing down the 2 Six Sigma cars. Looking to the inside line is that AMG. Can he get fully alongside for the braking zone of the final sector? He sure is. That AMG did a phenomenal job of getting past Wilson Ho side by side. Here we go, and it won't stop now. It'll keep on continuing, and then it'll conclude going through the small carousel. No, and no, it won't stop there. It'll keep on battling out. The red wing mirrors compared to the normal wing mirrors shows you who's battling for what positions. That'll be both in the pro category. The AMG, probably not the strongest in a straight line, will not be able to keep up. Let's take a look at what the AMG has. 6.3 liter V8 pushing only 550 horsepower compared to the Ferrari, who's around 550 horsepower well, but of course a 296 twin turbo car. The AMG uses the slipstream effectively to get past the Ferrari, but will it be done and dusted by the time we go into the final chicane? And it looks like it, but will that Ferrari be able to snap back? He takes a look at the inside line, but Dominic Schumann has to be woken up just a little bit earlier in the morning to get that move done on him. Ryan Nash into the pits already. Serving their mandatory potentially. Oh, that will be a whole lot of damage for the Bald Eagle Motorsports 787. I'm not sure what happened there. Let's take a look and see if we can find an incident for that car. It must have happened all alone, because I'm not seeing any incidents pop up for the 787. And Rory Buchanan's AMG looks a little worse for wear, if I'm not mistaken. That hood, that bonnet flapping in the wind right now. Number 5 definitely gave something or someone a little bit of a bonk. McNulty, Nash, BK all down pit lane now. And that number 5 should have also maybe come down pit road. Getting passed by a few cars now. And worse goes for wear for the 787, a stop-go 30 now being had for speeding down pit lane. And that's definitely going to hurt his charge. Wilson Ho chasing down Rory Buchanan. Number 5 car, AMG. This is the wounded AMG that we were looking at just a few moments ago, and is still wounded and will probably lose this position sooner rather than later. Looks like it's about a 6/10 gap, and let's see how much Wilson Ho can close down during the mountain section. Wilson Ho also has a little bit of damage, but not as much as Rory Buchanan's front end right now. Battle up ahead between Laszlo Toth and Dominic Schumont. Schumont has been shaking and baking. Huge positions gained. 11 positions on the first lap alone. The number 88 started out in 16th position and has now worked his way up into 5. You see just ahead the battle between the AMG and the McLaren. And the Ferrari and the AMG getting slightly separated through that mountain pass. But this AMG McLaren battle is spicing up to be something, and Dominic Schumont is looking for any way to get past now. 1/10 now separating them. That's basically nothing. Couldn't slip a credit card between those two bumpers as we head into Schwunchen curve. And through Armberg we go, turn 22. And down through Foxhole we go, plummeting down the hill. Wilson Ho trying to do his absolute best to get past Rory Buchanan, stay in touching distance of his teammate, but not doing the greatest of jobs right now. Obviously, he doesn't know how much damage that AMG has, but he is doing a good job of staying within touching distance or threatening distance of the AMG in front. We've got a little bit of an AMG sandwich with 6 Sigma racing bread surrounding them. Because, of course, we all know that you describe a sandwich based on the meat inside, not necessarily the bread. So this is a double-decker AMG sandwich on 6 Sigma racing bread. Oh, and Wilson Ho able to get past Rory Buchanan through turn 31. Like Rory was just a little bit off there. And that's not flashy of the headlights, that's just glistening that we can see. And Rory's car is definitely worse for wear. You can see how loose it is coming through X-Mule. Through the Lauda Links, it looks like Laszlo Toth ended up getting passed by Dominic Schumont. Number 88, like I said earlier, shaking and baking his way through the grid right now. Leo Mora with a 5-second penalty added to his name. and that might be for incident responsibility from the previous race. Any other penalties getting dished out will be done by Daniel Tran. Again, thank you so much to Daniel Tran for his sacrifice and giving us a live stewarded event here, trying to make this as fair and clean as possible. And thank you very much again to our wonderful sponsors. You see them in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Of course, Omega Racing Team is where the stream will be found. And the FAF Motorsports organization, thank you very much for your lovely sponsorship, as well as thank you very much to the Six Sigma Sim Racing organization. Oh, and there's a big off. That'll be Leo Mora. Holy smokes, the number 30. Let's see if we can get instant review about what happened to that number 30 going to the live replay. Oh, and just getting it wrong coming through that chicane and clattering edge to edge of the track. And that'll be move done for David Johnson, able to get past. And now Philippe Cosset trying to work his way up through the grid. That car has definitely seen some better days. Let's look at Laszlo Toth getting threatened by Wilson Ho. Battling Six Sigma Racing brothers. 5th place and 6th place respectively. Laszlo Toth, of course, leading. 1.3 is the gap ahead to Dominic Schumont driving the AMG, the number 88 all gray livery. Through to the rear bumper is Wilson Ho to his teammate in the 188. You see the iconic liveries, and that bonnet looks like it is flapping in the wind right now. And he moves out of the slipstream for just a moment, but I think he needs to stay sucked in for a little bit longer if he wants to get the move done coming down the straight. In the inside line, perhaps maybe deciding to work together just a little bit. Coming over the bumps through Tiergarten. No moves to be found on this occasion from Wilson Ho on his teammate Laszlo Toth. Oh, and there is a dive bomb and a half from the 888 into the 188. I think just not expecting him to close down the gap that much quicker going in towards turn 1. Turn 2, all things are neat and tidy between the two drivers. It's all looking on the up and up between them. This is the closest battle that we get to witness on the racing circuit because Kevin Lee, the leader of this race, is 4.1 seconds ahead of Justin Cutler. And this might invert the championship standings to make it all square as day, as Kevin Lee was sitting in 2nd place, right behind Justin Cutler in 1st. Nate Roberts in 3rd should be able to hold on to his 3rd place standings. to the mountain section. Laszlo Toth letting by Wilson Ho. Apparently a little bit of team orders getting thrown out there. Although I thought Wilson was not faster going into the mountain section. I thought Laszlo was the faster of the two. I could be wrong. Because on that last lap, Laszlo was about 2 seconds slower. But he also let by Dominic Schumont, so I'm not quite so certain that Wilson Ho might be able to escape. I could be wrong. But Wilson Ho now able to battle with Dominic Schumont, who's about 3.9 up the bid. The 888 battling with the 88. Thought there was an incident for Nate Roberts, but apparently not. The third place car, 22.8 seconds away from Justin Cutler. And seemingly looking like the leaders have run away with it. Nate Roberts just managing the gap to Dominic Schumont behind. Lapping at around 129.3. Pretty good pace for himself. Dominic Schumont, of course, the fastest of the drivers on the grid right now, lapping at 129.4. Excuse me, no, Kevin Lee is the fastest of all drivers in 8:19.8. And we're gonna have just a few laps remaining, probably be about 3 more laps at this pace. Dominic is out here absolutely pushing. You can hear the squealing tires behind him. Number 88 really wants to find himself a podium position tonight. He's going to have to do a lot of hard work to catch back up to Nate Roberts, who's 9 seconds up the road now. Stop go 30 cleared for the 787, able to get through and serve that. Ryan Nash now chasing down Alan Pena. And we'll get this move done relatively easily there as we come through the fast left-hander and into Armberg. Ryan Nash on that recovery drive, the 787 serving that stop-go penalty as well as serving their mandatory pit stop of the night. BK, Corey McNulty, Ryan Nash, Alan Pena, Leo Mora, and Nick C. all serving their mandatories already. Most drivers having to take damage repair, so a lot of plus 30-second pit stops. Although typically, I don't think that's the ideal strategy here. I think at the Nürburgring, most drivers would elect to stay on the same set of tires and go to the very end. Incident for the number 5, Rory Buchanan. Let's see if we can get instant view of what happened to that number 5. This is the injured AMG from earlier coming through the chicane. Everything looks okay, goes a little bit high up on the curb, and when the wheels drop back down onto the racetrack, really just discombobulated the suspension and showed how much worse for wear they really were. David Johnson and Isho able to get past the number 5. That'll promote Isho into 8th place now, or excuse me, 7th place. Now has Laszlo Toth up ahead by 16 seconds, give or take. Number 220, FAF GTD Pro car of Isho doing very well. Wrestled into the top 10 right now. And hopefully can still hold on to that top 10 position. Dominic Schumacher's lapping around 2.2 faster than he has before. He's only 6 seconds away from Nate Roberts up the road. Looks like Nate Roberts is into the pits already. That'll send him down the order quite a few positions. And that will give the position over to Dominic Schumann to lap at his own pace now. 8:27.3 is Dominic Schumann's last lap time, compared to Nate Roberts, his 8:29 being his best lap out. So Dominic, in about these 3 laps, should be able to get the overcut done on Nate Roberts, barring any mistakes. Let's see if Nate Roberts, he is still stationary in the pit lane, and he's gotten all of his damage taken care of, and he's back out onto the racetrack. That'll be a very long pit stop for Nate Roberts. 36.7 stationary. Ouch. If Dominic can go without repairs, he will be doing very well to get this overcut done on Nate Roberts. Kevin Lee with the fastest lap of the race. The 8:19.8, Justin Cutler behind in second place with an 8:21.445. Rory Buchanan into the pits, seemingly to get that damage of his repaired. He had a little bit of damage before the incident that we reviewed for that number 5, and now has to get it done. He was going awfully slow through the middle sector of the track, and now he's back out racing again. Here's the battle between Philippe Cassette and Nate Roberts. Roberts was a podium sitter at one point in time until the pit stop cycle kicked off. Now he's got a battle with Philippe. Although they're on different strategies, of course, Cassette has no obligation to pull over and let Roberts through. Oh, and there's a big off from Dominic Schumann. Holy smokes, that'll really hurt his charge. Let's see what happened to the number 88. Looks like headed in towards Arenberg. So the fast left-hander is where he loses it before Arenberg. And can he get the car collected before the barriers? No, he cannot. The 88 clatters with the K-rail. And that will really hurt him. He's down into 5th place. Nate Roberts does get by Philippe Cossette in that background fight. See if we can go 10 for 10 to see how that got done. Pretty easily done. I think the 218 of Cossette was just complicit there. Opened the door, let Nate Roberts through, saw that he was faster. And already a pit stop ahead. And now that we have a little bit of lull in the action, let's talk about some fun Nürburgring facts. The ring owes its name to the Nürburg Castle, which stands at the top of the 2nd highest hill in the Eifel Mountains at an altitude of about 676 meters. On a clear day, you can see the spires of Cologne Cathedral 85 kilometers away. The castle dates back to the 12th century. It was first mentioned in 1166 and was built by Count Birch von Ara. This is a battle between Laszlo Toth and Dominic Schumont, one that we saw happen earlier on the racetrack. In a battle that has come back around now as Dominic Schumont really sends it. Carrying so much speed. Despite the damage that he has, that AMG is looking mighty rapid out here tonight. And maybe he can still get this undercut done over Nate Roberts, who won't be fighting for the podium positions any longer. But at least he can beat out Nate Roberts. Johnny Nickelford and BK invert their positions. A little bit of a soiree going on between the FAF GTD cars. BK already taking his pit stop, and Johnny Nickelford not, so seemingly looking like everything's on the up and up between the two FAF cars. Dominic Schumont still chasing down Laszlo Toth. The gap has increased to around 1 second separating the two of them. Through the S-curve and now through Flasgarden. Beautiful shots here of the Nürburgring circuit. And a little bit of a wiggle there from Laszlo in front. Allows Dominic to close down, but the small carousel spits him out like a rocket ship, and he regains that time. Here's where Dominic can really make this move happen. Coming down Doudingerhout. The last straightaway. He's Got to get a little bit closer to get the side draft to work, but staying very far away right now is Schumacher. On the rear wing of Laszlo Toth, you can see how close the gap is, separated by around 0.4 of a second, but closing it down through the Honrain chicane. That will be Dominic into the pit lane out from this battle. I think we will get a bonus lap here tonight at the Nordschleife by just about 2 minutes. Show into the pit lane, Schumacher, Wilson, Ho, all into pits. It looks like the leader, Kevin Lee, electing to stay out for as long as possible, wanting to pit on the absolute last lap. And he will get the opportunity to do so. On board with Kevin Lee as we come through Hotzenbach now. A little bit of the coast there. And this is the scariest part of the track. A little bit of a crest. And then you just absolutely lick the stamp and send it through Flugplatz. He does it with such relative ease. Cottonbore now, flat out through here. And again, another flat out section, flat for this left-hander. Tiny confidence lift there. He had more track that he could have used if he wanted to on the entrance to Armberg. Slides out the rear end just a tad bit to get the car rotated through Armberg. And this is Foxhole that we're going through now. Beautiful roller coaster section of the racetrack. And coming up the hill, downshifting again, and then getting set up for the chicane that is so tricky it catches a lot of drivers out through the Ardner Frost. Set up to Rebel Tree. I didn't think lap traffic was going to become a thing, but it is, as the number 3 of Nick C is right in front of Kevin Lee right now. Justin Cutler did take his pit stop, 6.4 seconds stationary, 35.0 transient. It was total stop around 41. And there goes and off is Nick C. And lap traffic just becoming a problem that solves itself for Kevin Lee. Through the Lauda Links and Bergwerk. Getting the car pitched in. This car is very stable. You can see how much he's having to work the wheel to get the car rotated around, but through the fast sectors of the track, this car is looking very healthy. The 296 Ferrari looking very good right now. And Castle-Chen, turn 36. Staying in 5th gear all the way up the hill because you don't want to shift up too early. And then another part where you just got to really just get off the accelerator a little bit, downshift, and send it in. Isho getting caught up all on his lonesome after his pit stop. The number 220 doesn't look like he had an incident of sorts, but looks like he's just off all alone. And then the number 3, Nick C, is off again, it looks like. Trying to find out what happened to the 220. Let's take a quick look and peek at what happened here. Everything's looking okay until he high sides it on the curb and bonks into the wall. And he's going to have to back up to get the car rotated back again. And that's what happened. Although it says that the leader is on the final lap, I don't believe that to be true. I believe the final lap will be coming around when the 14 crosses the line. Yellow flags for the number 9 got waved. Is this how David Johnson got past BK? A little bit of an off and clattered with the barrier, and yes, that is how David Johnson got past BK.
Leaders on final lap now.
Again, I don't think that that's correct. Kevin Lee still needs to cross the line. He has plenty of time to do it. Battle between the 9 and the 221. This is a battle just for bragging rights, not overall points, as these two are in different categories. Laszlo Toth still out there all by his lonesome, has not served his mandatory. Dominic Schumont and Kevin Lee all need to serve theirs, and Kevin Lee is into the pit lane now. Battle between the 9 and the 221 comes out through the carousel. Porsche shotguns himself out there behind the BMW, can't find a way past on this occasion, but is looking for a gap to make his way through. Now that the leader Kevin Lee has officially crossed the line, this would be the last lap of the race. Kevin Lee on lap 5, Justin Cutler on lap 5 also. 6 seconds stationary for Kevin Lee. About 4/10 faster than Justin Cutler in P2. 8.7 is the gap actual between them. Nate Roberts and Wilson Ho going after a couple of Ferraris that have seen some better days. And Nate Roberts able to go through on Wilson without too much issue there. Check back in with BK and David Johnson. The 221 BMW leads over the Porsche in line 6. Porsche 911 GTR 992 almost clatters into the back of the BMW. 4.2 liter flat 6 naturally aspirated, pushing around 500 horsepower versus the BMW 4.4 liter V8 580 horsepower, but we all know that the BMW's got the legs in a straight line, and this is where the move cannot be completed. The Porsche just does not have the top speed that the BMW is going to have. Getting a little bit of help through the slipstream. We'll be able to pull alongside, but for how long will BK able to hold around the outside line this time around? He's still got one more lap of racing left to go. Can he still maintain this side-by-side action going into Tiergarten? Goes for a switchback. Can't find the daylight around the BMW. He's going to have to make a move into the mountain pass now. Coming down the front straightaway. Flashy of the headlights. The 9's trying to get past the 221. Able to do so. Headed into towards turn 1. But will that BMW be later on the brakes? No, it cannot be. BK goes a little bit too deep though and cooks it. Tries to get a switchback set up towards turn 2. Now has the inside line for turn 3 though. Number 9 of BK, you got it. He's doing a great job putting on his defensive maneuvers. The Canadian driving very well tonight. Or is BK an American? I can't tell. His wing end plates have got 2 different flags on it. One side's Canadian, one side's American. And this is officially the last lap of the race, folks. Nate Roberts re-inherited P3 in this race in front of Wilson Ho. Despite taking newer tires, ended up pulling out the faster lap times. Corey McNulty battling it out with Laszlo Toth. 74 looking to the inside line, going into the Green Hell section through the Vidal chicane. Whoa, in the 74. I thought that was a 7.5, but I think the 188 just allowed that to happen. Laszlo Toth in a bit of a self-preservation mode. The 188 is actually in 10th place overall with a 64.4 second pit stop. Not sure what happened there, potentially finally getting all that damage repaired. That'll really shake him up down the order. He was in first place. That'll promote David Johnson into first place of the race in the Pro-Am category or the bronze category. Laszlo Toth in the second place. Leo Mora in third. Kevin Lee, though, fantastic drive out of him, has led us from green flag to white flag so far. The number 14 putting on a driver's experience for certain. As he comes around the carousel, he's leading over Justin Cutler by around 8 seconds. Cutler still improving lap times, but just not enough in that Nissan GTR. The Six Sigma Racing Team doing very well. Nate Roberts in third place, driving the number 6 Ferrari. Took the damage repair, took the fresh set of tires as well, and went back out onto the racetrack. Was able to get past Wilson Ho and Dominic Schumont during their battling. The 888 of Wilson Ho in fourth place in front of Dominic Schumont, the number 88. then Isho. Maybe the first of the red plates, actually. I believe that would make Isho the first of the red plates who have inherited the lead of the race. 8.3 seconds stationary, 35.2 transient. Did a great job in this race to bring this one home, especially around such a tricky circuit. 1.3 back is BK, battling outside of class though. And flashy of the headlights from one fast driver to the next. BK glued all over the rear end of Isho like a new license plate. And all this battling is going to allow David Johnson to track back into this. Ooh, and the number 9 goes the long way around through the carousel. Holy smokes, can he make that stick? No, as that's not the ideal line. But again, all this battling between the fast tuning cars is going to allow David Johnson to challenge Isho for the lead of the race. And now Isho trying to get through on his teammate, and that'll be it. Kevin Lee takes the lead of this race. Justin Cutler will bring home P2, 9.5 seconds. I want to stay glued to this battle because I feel like anything can happen over the next couple of seconds or so. If Isho can keep BK behind him right now, that'll really be the ideal move, because he needs one more car of a buffer between himself and David Johnson. Now he cannot let David Johnson through. Justin Cutler brings home P2. Nate Roberts will bring home P3. Wilson Ho, Dominic Schumont, Balea Isho in 6. And this is starting to get to be a spicy three-way fight. David Johnson wants to get past BK as fast as humanly possible, and there it goes. The mistake was finally made. BK to the inside line, trying to defend for his life. Now David Johnson is threatening Balea Isho for that top spot during the bronze category, and there it goes. A move to the inside line, and it looks like Isho is going to have to give way here going into Schwanzenbogs. And it looks like Isho loses 2 for 1. David Johnson takes the position away from not one fast driver, but 2 in that couple of corners. BK and Isho still battling it out, it looks like. That will do it for this battle. Kevin Lee inherits P1 of the race from start to finish. He led us for all 6 laps. Justin Cutler in P2. Nate Roberts in 3rd. Dominic Schumont bringing home 4th place. Wilson Ho in 5th place. David Johnson will bring home 6th place. The first of the red plates, the bronze category drivers. BK in 7th. Isho bringing home 2nd place for him and the GTD Pro crew. Corey McNulty in 9th with Laszlo Toth in tow by 0.8 of a second to the line. 9th and 10th for them. Ryan Nash coming down in the 787 now. The meatball was waving for Nash for his headlights, and now that he's got them on, all things are said and done. No more meatball flags being waved, and Ryan Nash, hard fought and well-deserved P11, served an extra pit stop with that stop go 30. Rory Buchanan, the number 5 Top Gear Racing, will bring home 12th, and then Johnny Nickelford in the FAF GTD team, driving the lonely Lamborghini tonight. The number 99 coming down Dottinger Ho, the third straightaway here at the Nordschleife for the final time, will bring home the rear in P13. Johnny Nickelford crosses the line, and that'll do it for us here tonight at the Omega Sim Racing studio, folks. If you liked what you saw and you want to get in on the action, go ahead and join us, Omega Sim Racing. There's a QR code on your screen to join the Discord. Go ahead and get yourself involved. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, and we hope to see you on track next week. Welcome back, everybody. It's February 4th, Gun and Sent With. February 11th, we just finished up the Nordschleife. Next week, February 18th, will be Silverstone. Practice starts at 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Qualifying is at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the race begins 20 minutes after that at 8 p.m. 45 minutes, one mandatory stop, two different categories, GT3 Pro, and we have the GT3 AMs. Thank you very much to our sponsors, FAF for the love of the road, and to Six Sigma Sim Racing. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. It's been my pleasure. I'm the Real High, aka Sagar Bakshi. It's been my pleasure to take you from green to checkered flag. Thank you very much, everybody, as always, for all the love and support, and we'll see you next week out at Silverstone. Have a great night, and as always, stay safe out there.